Hello yogis, we are back for just this little mini series that I've created on the different styles of classes, and we're going to look at a yin yoga style practice, which is what it's called traditionally. On the schedule you'll find that I've called it a deep stretch, so you can get an idea of what you're there for a little bit. We're going to look at a posture that is something that's used throughout all styles of practice, child's pose. However, in a yin practice, it is something that we actually want a few extra tools to support us, and we spend a fair bit of time in. Our focus is more connective tissues and joint health in a yin practice, which takes a while. We're going to sit in postures potentially up to 3 to 5 minutes, and we need to make sure that is safe for our tissues. We also are going to encounter potentially a fair bit of intensity. Even though we're not engaging muscles necessarily, it doesn't mean it's not going to have its challenges. So we want to make sure that it's accessible and you can be there for a little bit. So I've brought a few things with me, and I'm just going to show you what it would look like if we don't use any props, and then how you would support progressively depending on what you're discovering. Child's pose, essentially I've got my big toes touching behind me, my butt's back towards my heels, doesn't actually have to be touching, and then from there you just lay down in between those legs. Legs can go a variety of distances. I've got them pretty wide right now. We're stretching out, and then the head gets to come down. So it's a very introspective posture where we get to start to discover a little bit more about those hips, the low back. You can reach those arms out maybe a little bit more actively to start, but then eventually we're just looking for passive, melty, letting go. We want to let gravity in our breath start to bring us into our tissues. And so there's going to be potentially a couple things that come up. So first things first, maybe the head is not comfortably resting. Slide that block underneath, give the head a little bit of support here, especially if you're feeling a lot of tension in the upper neck and back. This can be really nice to just alleviate some of that. So block under head, softens that. A couple other things that might come up. Maybe sitting on the tops of the ankles in this fashion. It's a pretty big stretch on the ankles. Maybe they're not quite ready for that today. A blanket's a really nice tool. You can roll it up on different thicknesses and stick it underneath the front of the ankles so that it takes out some of that really deep stretch. You've got a little bit of support here. So knees still get to go wide, but we don't have quite as deep of a stretch. Still support with the block if you want to, much softer through the front of the feet and the ankles. So this is a nice one. Or if you would like a little bit of a more elevated, supportive version here, this is one of my faves as well, with or without blanket, bolster. Bolsters are great tools. A little bit of a thicker one can be really helpful here. So we're just going to slide it underneath our belly, and then we're going to lay down over the bolster. So glasses, all the things, you get them out of the way, and you've got something to support the chest, something to support the head. You can slide it right under the belly if you want to, and just melt in here. So this would be maybe a tiny bit of a softer version. Another kind of combination, if you want just even more height, use your block, elevate even more. So you can see that we've got a lot of tools and a lot of different ways to play around and adjust. Every single one of us is going to need something just like a teeny tiny little bit different. So don't worry if you've never been on the mat before, it's a new practice, or you're seeing something on your neighbor's mat. We really don't care what's happening on our neighbor's mat. It is entirely about us. And so these are just a few examples of ways that I could help you out to adjust, things that I will suggest, and you get to just play. You get to try. Yep, this is great, I like this. Nope, that's not for me today. And you just mix and match depending on what you need. So that's your little snapshot of a child's pose in a yin style, deep stretch style class. If you have any questions or any other sort of postures, demonstrations, anything like that you're curious about, let me know, drop it in the comments, send me a DM, and I'll be happy to create that for you.